cui se faire lan, that I want you full.
And it's still not working right. I don't have great volume, but at
Hello,
least I have some.
welcome to Divine Guidance with Patricia. Here we are. We've got a high vibe show today, so anything could happen, anything could take place. Jacob, I warn you ahead of time, we probably may not take any breaks because when we start yakking, the universe is going to come in and through. It's been an amazing couple weeks. I don't know about any of my listeners, but I can tell you so much shift has been happening. And I'm so excited to be here and to be alive and be a part of it, even though life is chaotic and anything they can and will throw against you, they will. And so keep it coming because you're not going to stop this woman or the woman I have here with me now. So, without ado delay, this lady's had a lot in order to get here today. So I want to welcome Leana from Passion, Power, Freedom.
Power, passion, freedom.
Power, Passion, Freedom. I'm Hayoka. Welcome in, Leanna. Take it over, hon.
Hi, guys. How is everybody? Oh, my goodness. You know, it's amazing what the universe does to get us here. But I'm here and I'm grateful, Patricia. Such an honor. And everybody, such a great honor to be here. So, give me 2 seconds, guys. I was just running from the outside world.
I'll let you tell them what's been going on in your world this morning, Leana.
Yes, out of all the chances, right? A truck hits the lines, takes down all my electric, and it just came back, what, 6 seconds ago? So no internet, no electric, no anything. And my system's not even working right. So I hope we stay up for what's going on. And they may take it down and come back. I'll come back in. I don't know what's going to happen with the lines. It's incredible. But
we're going to keep you
everybody.
Here.
Yes.
We're going to keep you right here, love. That's it. I've got an hour, universe. Do whatever you need to afterwards.
That's right. Keep the energy. We don't need no stinking electric grid. We can have the energy of the air. Keep it going, right? The substrate.
The etheric is everything, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, take a deep breath, love, and I'll try and tell them a little bit about what I know. I met Leana on, she was a guest on someone else's podcast, and the minute she opened her mouth, it was like instant recognition. I still don't understand how I know her, but I don't need to. I just know that I know you, and that you know me, and that there's a harmony between our souls and our essences. And some of the high realm people that you communicate with are people that I've communicated with all my life. So there is a soul connection there for sure. I believe there's also some information fields connection. And I know enough to know I know nothing. So tell me what I don't know, Leanna. How's that?
You know, everybody knows everything. We just forgot, we came in and we completely forgot. And yet we're all connecting back. It's the old soul families coming back together. So it's amazing. I see so many people, and we just did this last night on my webinar, but everybody's saying, oh, I met my twin flame. I met my twin flame. I met my twin flame. And 90% of the twin flames aren't here. They're staying in the higher realms to assist you. What you're meeting, guys, is your soul families. And we're all, as you wake up, you're being drawn to your soul families to come back and to say, hey, and then we all have codes within each other that we're swapping to assist us in remembering who we are. So it's such a great time, and there's so much good stuff going on. And the time is now, guys. You really got to wake up. As my father used to say, and I apologize for this, and I hope it's okay, but my father always used to say to me, either shit or get off the pot. And that's where we're at now. We just have to step up. There's no more playing. The time is now. If you don't get yourself and choose where you want to go and create where you want to go, you're going to be stuck here for another 26,000 year cycle. And a lot of light will be taken off into the higher dimensions. So it's somewhat hell here now. Who wants to stay? So I keep telling everybody, choose. Don't just go by default. If you don't like this place and you say, oh, I'm moving, I'm getting out of this place, I'm raising my vibration, you're going to be stuck in the 4D. Choose 5D. Make a decision. Set your intent now. I'm going to the golden age. I'm choosing 5D. Because
Mhm.
right now we're all on a highway. We came in off the service road and we're on an expressway. And you got to get to the left lane. Don't just sit and wallow in the right lane. So that's
Yeah,
where we're kind of going.
I totally agree. And it's not just now, we're past the point of making the choice. I feel we're now at the point of backing our choice, doing what it takes to commit to that choice and stick with it. I know even my husband and I were having a few things about this, that, this person, that spokesperson, this show, this intel. And I just went, you know what? Creators got us. Pick a choice and stand in it. Right? Don't keep wavering back and forth. Just choose and then do what you got to do and what you're guided to do to make that choice real. That's it. So I
Yep.
really believe we're there now.
And the whole thing is, it's, there's a lot of people who haven't even opened their eye this much. They're still sound asleep. And that's what we're trying to get. They have to make a choice. And everybody keeps going, well, when's this whole shift going to happen? It's going to happen when the collective consciousness gets to the level to make it happen. We are creating it. We, the people, are creating it. And we just got to keep moving forward. And so many people, if you want to master the 3D, you master the 3Ds. First, you have a desire. The desire is you want to ascend, you want to make it to the higher levels. Then you make the decision, I'm going to do it. And then you have the discipline to do it. But people miscomprehend discipline. They think, oh, I got to do this. That's not what discipline is. Discipline is holding on to the choice that you made. So if you choose light, you must have the discipline to stay in that. And every day, every one of us, you, Patricia, you, me, we do it all the time, right? If
Mhm.
we sneak in a little bit of fear, a little bit of sadness, a little bit of depression, which usually our family makes us that happens, just those knee jerk reactions. What we're doing is we're saying, I'm not choosing light anymore. We're literally putting a bucket over our light and choosing darkness. And you have to have the discipline because that's just going to take us down. We judge people. Judgment's the fastest anchor. You've heard me say this a million times. Judgment is the fastest anchor into 3D. It just
Mhm.
sucks you right down. And we
Mhm.
all do it. Every one of you. How many people have said, oh my God, look at that person in the car by themselves with a mask on? How ridiculous, right? We've all said that. They're
Guilty.
swimming in the ocean with the mask on, and we go, oh my gosh. Right? So we're judging them. And that's the fastest anchor to 3D. So these are all the things we have to get. We got to go back, and nobody can tell you what to do. It would be like talking to Jesus. Here, let me tell you how to do this. It's a joke. We already have everything inside. We already know everything. We just forgot. So we have to go back to remember and recover that we are the divine creator. We create everything in our life. Our dominion is ours. And people just have to hold on to that and know that without a shadow of a doubt. And don't let yourselves be fooled by all this garbage that's out there.
Well, that's the thing. For me, my knowing is judgment is when I'm projecting my fear of not being okay with my decisions and choices onto someone else in a negative way, right? So
Right.
that's where it needs to stop. It needs to stop with me going, okay, I can be confused about something, but not have to just blow up my whole ship because I'm confused for a minute, right?
Oh, we're going to get opportunities. Oh my, we're getting opportunities to, because if you decide, you make a decision, well, I'm moving up, I'm going 5D, and that's it. And I'm focusing only on the golden age. You can have plenty of opportunities to see if you can do that.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. Um, so there's a lot of talk about 5D, 4D, 6D. When it first came out, I asked people if they were confused about the bra size because I had no idea what they were talking about. But the thing is,
Funny.
there's many of us that have already we have the knowing that we are multidimensional beings, and so we go in and out quite frequently. So I'm not sure what 5D is yet, and I'm okay to say that. I do know, and I do have an understanding of the golden age of mankind, which is with all negative, evil restraints off our being who we came here to be in all our glory and sovereign, which means we not only look to everybody else to gift us, we look at our gifts to gift everybody else. So that's my understanding of where we're going, even though I don't really relate to labels and stuff. But for those that do, can you give a little bit of explanation of your concept of 5D, Lena?
Absolutely. First off, you're gonna love me anyway.
Done.
You don't want to use the word sovereign because
Okay.
sove means to sleep and reign means to rule. So it's rolling over the sleeping, and it's a governmental obligation again. We are not sovereign. We are in line with our dominion, which was given to you by the divine creator in this little law. This is a law book, guys. And the
Okay.
law is in there. There's all three laws in here. There's satanic law, there's statutory law, and there's divine law. And it's all in here if you just look for it, decode it. And a lot of people say things to me like, oh, well, the Bible's been altered, the Bible's been changed, and a lot of books have been left out. And that's true. But you don't need 58 books to transcribe the law. If the law is, do not kill, you only
Mhm.
need one book to tell it. You can figure it out the rest of it. So they
Literally
may have
sentence.
changed and taken some books out, but you know what do not kill means, those kind of things. But anyway, going back to sovereignty, everybody's trying to be these state nationals and they're all trying to get their sovereignty. And I'm telling you guys, if you do that, you're doing it in governmental obligation. You're again listening to the government, which by the way is supposed to be us, not people controlling us, which means you're accepting being ruled by. And once you
Okay.
do that, you're giving up your dominion, your divine dominion given to you by the divine creator, the one
Mhm.
true living God, whatever that is for you. I'm not going about religion. Religion actually means to religion yourself. And you shouldn't religion yourself. You should hold on to who you are. You were given dominion over the earth, the land, the sea, everything in it, on it, over it. And that's what law stands for: land, air, and water. You were given dominion over it. And we basically wrapped it up and said, here you go. And we gave it away. So, in order to get to the fifth dimension, the golden age, we have to start bringing that back. But the thing is, they're unalienable rights. What God gave you cannot be transferred, it cannot be sold, it cannot be given away. So, I don't care what documents you sign, you cannot give away your God rights, your God righteousness. You must claim your righteousness back. And they've got all these people, and it's all great. Oh, fill out this form. And then I love this one, and have it notarized. A notary is a statutory law. So, how are you going back into natural law when you're filling out things in statutory law? It doesn't even make sense.
Mhm.
So, what the 5D is we're releasing, it's a transition. This is not going to happen. Done. We're here. Nah, it's not happening like that.
Yeah.
It's a transition. And you, as well as me, and many of your listeners, and many of my listeners, they've made 5D and we're doing this. Bop, 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 bop. Keep going up and down. We're like yo yos. We see the 5D, it's great. And then we let somebody or someone or something or an old program that's not truth trigger us. We go back down to 3D, sometimes
Mhm.
to 2D, depending how angry we get. And we don't stay in 5D. But 5D is a shift, and everything is going to be where there's no more choice between good and evil. Once you see, right now we're a free will world, and you have the choice between evil or good. You can choose it. It's your choice. If you want to be satanic, knock your socks off, go be satanic. If you want to follow the divine, knock your socks off, go follow the divine. There's no judgment on that. There are consequences, but
Mhm.
no judgment. So what
Mhm.
happens is it's becoming a split. And those that choose the light and do not want to go back to darkness, those are the ones that's going to make it in 5D, because the higher realms cannot accept five,
Satanic.
the lower satanic darkness, or whatever
Okay.
you want to call it, evil.
Yeah.
I don't care what word you use for it.
Yeah. A
It,
label.
it can't accept it. So that's what the shift is going to be. And we're slowly getting there, but we keep dragging ourselves down. And you can see this. All of you can see. It's like, for those of you who are very adamant about the shot, the jibber jabber, and
Mm.
those of you who are not, are your listeners pro or con, or mixed?
I have no idea. So let's just speak to everybody,
Okay.
all of them. That's
So
it. Because I mean, I know you have no judgment. I have no
I'm just
judgment.
going to show you something though.
You go for it. This is your show, love.
One of my members made this, and I think it's so cute. It's such a great way of
What is
explaining
it?
5D. This is me. Notice the red hair. Okay, so this is two people, and remember a while ago, you can have a political opinion without being killed over it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a nice world. You could have
It was
decisions.
great. Yeah, you
Everybody
could
could do
argue.
what they want.
Mhm.
Now you can have a political opinion, and you could be speaking to someone as adamant as you are about what you believe. They're just as adamant about what they believe, and there's a big separation. And you find yourselves doing this. You're butting heads, and it's almost like your mother used to say to you when you were a kid, I can't talk to you no more. They just can't get what's going through. So this is what's happening. This one is speaking the higher realms, is starting to awaken. And they're speaking to this one. And what's starting to happen, this one's starting to awaken. And they're raising up and
Oh my
raising up
goodness.
and raising up. And soon they just can't speak anymore. They're on two different dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
They have absolutely no way of communicating.
That's
And
a prime. That's a prime
that's when the
example.
framing starts to happen. What'd you say?
That's a prime example. I've noticed for about 15 years now, you can be talking about anything beautiful, spirit. Look at the daisies, look at the hummingbird to somebody, and they're going, would you like cheese for supper tonight? They're just not there. They're just not in, you know what I mean? And so you look at them, you know, you know that the energy, the words are wasted. So you pray for that person, but you don't keep banging your head against that wall. You just say, yeah, I want cheese.
No, because what happens if the girl is trying to talk to the boy, right? It's
Mhm.
just way over his head, literally. And he
Mhm.
has no clue, and he's still living in this energy down here.
Now that doesn't have anything to do with physical intelligence.
No, not one
And I'm
bit.
really saddened by a lot of the judgments on, you know, people who are asleep. They're just so dumb. I don't like that at all. People who are asleep because of their choices with their dominion, with their where they're going with their divine, and how encapsulated they've been lifetime after lifetime. If they've done any inner work on the soul in order to have that knowledge in the physical this time, they made their agreements and their 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 contracts or whatever they did. They didn't do anything after that. Like there's a lot of very, very brilliant intellectual people who are making some pretty dull, not light, dull, instead of dumb, but dull choices. Um, and they seem to be, and you know what? I also know within my heart and soul, there's a lot of beautiful divine beings who are asleep. They may wake up in the 11th hour and teach us all something. So
Yep.
you never limit the creator. You don't know what the divine plan for another person is. So
And
you
you
let it
don't
be.
know if they came in purposely to
Hmm.
remain in darkness, so
Hmm.
that, because let's say, this one goes up here.
Yeah.
This one can no longer talk to this one. So
Hmm.
who's going to help, or who's negate, ab initio? Who's
Yeah.
going to assist all the people down here if they can't communicate?
Right.
This one is communicating with the people who are, maybe at this level.
Hmm.
But once they get past here, they can't anymore. So
And what if,
we don't
yeah.
know their path. And some of the most dark, and I don't mean dark as evil, I mean dark, they're putting a bucket over their light. Some of the most darkest people, they're hiding their light. When that
Mhm.
bucket comes off, they're going to surpass all of us.
Yes.
They're going to just
Thank you.
right up,
Thank you.
especially the crystalline kids today, because the kids coming in today, oh my gosh, if you think about, like, okay, Patricia, we're close to the same age here. When we were young,
Leana.
did we think about saving the world?
Yeah, I
I
did.
never did. I thought about playing games, hey, let's go play kickball or something like that, right? Jump rope. We didn't think about, oh, how's that going to affect the environment? Oh, how we never had those thoughts. At least I
No,
didn't.
not as strong as those, but I always had the sense of making the world a better place, a kinder place. I didn't like the cruelty on the planet at all. So in that aspect, I wanted the world to be a kinder, loving place.
Yes, but everything you did wasn't your focus. The crystalline kids today, they don't make a move unless it's something bettering. And it's amazing. And they're the ones that are being attacked so much by this whole arena. Guys, if you don't believe this, this is a war for your soul. And it's no messing around. This is really a war for your souls. And that's why they're dumbing down our kids. That's why they're doing the things they are, because they're going after those crystalline lights, because those kids are the kids that are going to light this place up. And they want
Yeah.
them taken away and bring them to the dark side. But these kids are amazing. And if you talk to some of them, they sound like down here. But if you close your eyes and you ask to see the real them, you will see a light that's so huge that once that bucket comes off and they shine, we're gonna be dark.
Yeah, we're gonna
compared to them, right?
They already show us in spurts now. I mean, we have to be open to, and you know what? Many cultures and elders and traditional people around the world have always said, "Children are our teachers. Children are our teachers." Nobody bought it. Nobody listened.
No, what about the saying?
Now?
The closest thing to God is a child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they're not brainwashed to the extent that we are. And you know we just got I can't wait to see them wake up. It's going to be pretty, and I'm seeing quite a bit of them, so it's an amazing thing. But that's the 5D, is just we're going to raise up, and we're going to get to a level where there's no longer a choice in our world for dark or light. It's always light, it's always divine, and that's the fifth dimension.
The duality is going to be gone because the lessons won't need to be there, or the choices you've already chosen to be available, right? There was one word that you said there, Leana, when you were communicating. It was about dominion over the earth. Now, there's a lot of ways to interpret that. Could you give me a little bit more in depth of what dominion over the earth, dominion over the animal? We were given dominion. Does that mean that we are the boss? We're the rulers, or
we are the trustees? We are the trustees. Okay. So what happened is, and if I studied natural law, and I do everything in common law. I don't abide by statutory law, which is the law. If people comprehend this or not, but statutory law is admiralty law. And that's why you need a passport. It's a pass to go through the ports. That's why it's called a passport. A airport is a port on land. A court is an admiralty court. So everything is done under naval law and admiralty law. And that's what law stands for: the land, the air, and the water. So in here, the divine creator, and if you would have told me 3 years ago that I'd be holding this book up, I would have said, "You're nuts. You're absolutely crazy." Because, God wrote this thing, and not God, man wrote this thing, and it's but it was interesting because it was Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, came up to me and said he wanted me to read this. And I said, "You got to be kidding me, man wrote it." So he just sat there like this in my vision and said, "So you're telling me the divine creator of all that is and all that is not can't get a book written?" I went, "Okay, where do I start?"
Exactly.
When I start, but you see, it says, "Ask and you shall receive, knock and the door will be opened." So I kept asking on how to get, because for 30 years I've been in the natural law trying to get out of statutory law and not have all these governmental obligations on me, which are binding me into the third D. In the 3D world, statutory law is run by darkness, evil, Satan, whatever word you want to call it. I'm just going to call it darkness for now. And it's run and ruled by darkness. It's meant to take your light away. It is meant for you to kneel down to darkness versus standing up in your light. So when I started reading this is a law book, like you can't imagine. All the codes are in there. And in the first chapter, Genesis, it says man was given dominion over the air and all the fowl in it, over the sea and all the fish in it, and over the land and all the beasts on it, even the beasts that slither, because they knew darkness was ruling the earth. So we have dominion over that. Mm-hmm. That means when we stand, first, we are divine love. We stand in our divine truth. And when you master that, then you can wield your divine power. And that's what they're trying to say. You have the power over everything. And as we all know, in complete darkness, if you take a little light and you strike a match, darkness disintegrates. It cannot exist. Darkness cannot exist where there is light. And we are the light. So if we just started illuminating, then we would take back our dominion. And we have dominion over ourselves. We don't have dominion over anybody else. Mm-hmm. But we were made under law, the law of the divine. We were made trustees over this. And we basically turned our trusteeship to darkness. We allowed it to be taken away. And now there's a war for both, not only our souls, but for this place. And we have to take our trusteeship back. We have to master our dominion. You can't master anybody else's dominion. You are the king or queen of your dominion. That's what kingdom means. King of dominion, queen of dominion, freedom, free dominion. That's where these words come from. You know, it's not called spelling for no reason. The words were meant to deceive. And that's where they come from. Free dominion. And that's where we're heading. And all of that is right in here. It's amazing. Right. The codes are, you can decode this so easily. It's beyond belief.
Before we get into that, we're gonna take a small break. Before we do you want to just give our audience a little bit of information of where they can find you? I know you're on Rumble, you're on Telegram, you've got your own beautiful website and things that you offer. And then after that, Jacob, we'll go to a quick break.
Okay, we are on powerpassionfreedom.com. We built a beautiful community of like-minded, just much like you, Patricia. And we can find us on Rumble, which is the channel Power Passion Freedom. We're on Telegram channel Power Passion Freedom. It's everything is Power Passion Freedom. You step into your power, you live your passion, and you obtain divine freedom.
Beautiful. All right, Jacob, can you take us into a quick break, and we'll be right back with Leana. Oh, we're on. Okay. So, how you doing, everyone? Welcome back to Divine Guidance, where bloopers are fun, and we love it. So, I am so excited. I could talk to this lady. Well, you know me. I could talk anyways all day long. But when you talk in spirit, you live in spirit, and you get that passion of sharing spirit. It's timeless, isn't it, Leana? It's timeless. Like when I get into a really good communication with somebody, it's like, what? 6 hours went by? What?
Oh, so I know.
This 1 hour show goes really fast because I really get the best guests in here. So Leana, before the break, the reason I wanted to take a little bit of break so people go run to the bathroom or get their coffee or tea, because sit down, because now Miss Leana is going to give us some brilliant, beautiful information that I really want you to close your eyes and feel it with your heart and soul, guys, because this is something not to be missed. Go ahead, Leana.
I love how she puts me on the spot like that.
I know, right?
All right. So one of the things, I have been doing this for 40 something years. And like I said, in a million years, I was raised a Roman Catholic, so I ended up it never sat right with me, but I'm Italian and Irish off both boats from both directions. I was doomed to be a Roman Catholic, which meant I, it didn't resonate with me, the Catholic Church, ever. So when this little book here, the Bible, was brought into, when I just never wanted to read it. It reminded me of the Roman Catholics, and I also knew that man wrote it. And I know the whole story with King James. And when I was told by my Archangel Gabriel to read it, I said, where do I start? And he said, well, start at the New Testament for now. And I said, I don't even have one. And as God is my witness, somebody I had met in my friend's pizza place knocked on my door that day and actually brought me this. And it was in 2015. And it's to me from Mikey. Why? Because she asked. And this was just a kid who brought this to me. And this has been, I have the 1611 Bible. I have every Bible under the sun now, because the law was written on the 1611. When King James had the Bibles written, he didn't write it. He had people put it together. That's what they used to determine the law. And all statutory law, the law of the land right now, our government, our constitution, and all the other ones, they are all abiding by the law that's written in here. And the funniest thing is, people don't even comprehend dominion. If you comprehend dominion, you comprehend everything. And dominion was given to you. If you read the very first chapter here, let me get my eyeball here. And God gave dominion, and God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living and moving thing on the earth. We were given this place because we were made in his image, because we are divine creators. And we walk this place, as you all know, we walk this place knowing who we were. And when you start to read this, you realize, wow, the greatest lie was ever perceived against us. I mean, was ever committed against us. And we had an opportunity and we kind of blew it. We decided to accept darkness. We keep letting it in. Every time a fear comes up, that's of darkness, is not of light. The divine is very simple. It's very common language, common law. It's very, very simple. Complicated is darkness, because they tried to screw you over here. And one of the things is somebody had given me a Masonic Bible and a few Masonic books from the Masonic Lodge. Let me tell you, Masonic means man of Satan. Doesn't mean all the people are satanic that go into it. They go in with good hearts, but there's all these ceremonies that change it. And anything that's a ceremony is not of the divine. So as I started to dig down this, the first thing I realized is there's a whole push out there for people to do humanitarian projects and all this other stuff. And I'm not getting into it. But the word human, when you look it up, means, when you look it up in the Black Law Dictionary and in Collier's dictionary, it actually states on it that it's a monster. And then when you go look up monster, it says lower than a beast. And yet we go around calling ourselves. And I started going through this, and the word's never used in here. That came around in the 11th century. We are mankind and womankind, but they want to call us human. And it even says in here, do not honor persons, because persons is under statutory law. They make you a citizen when they make you part of the corporation. So, and I know we only have an hour, but I want to read something from Genesis, which is absolutely amazing. And by the sword thou shalt live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from thy neck. So it's right there. And you can look, there's 1,000 passages about this in there. And what they're trying to tell you is that we have a yoke. We're indentured slaves. If you're from America, when they wrote the Constitution, we, the people, are the government. That has changed. I ask everybody, how is it you have driver's license and it's mandatory to wear a seatbelt and it's mandatory to do all these laws? The motor vehicle isn't a judicial lawmaking part of the government. So how can the motor vehicle pass laws? Think about that. They can't. What they're doing is they're part of the corporation. And here's a very interesting thing. Hospitals, every birthing center is a foundling. And if you don't know what a foundling is a place where you can drop your child off, turn your back, and walk away and not be in trouble. So when everybody is born and they take your child from you, your parents gave you up to the state. You are part of the family. You have a birth certificate. When you were born, you have a notice of when you were born. If you look at your birth certificate, everybody, I challenge you to do this. If you look at your birth certificate, 5-6 days later, you were certified as a ward of the state. You don't belong to your parents. And that's what they did. They made you dead, and they put you in the corporation, and they took your trust away. Everyone who is a natural born citizen has a trust given to you, and that trust is worth millions. And that's what they created this thing. You know, this is a fiat. Does everybody, a fiat dollar, right? You've all heard it's a fiat dollar. Does everybody know what a fiat is? It's a decree. In 1970, I think it's 71, when Nixon took off the gold back standard, they called us a fiat. They made a fiat that this belongs to darkness. This belongs to evil. This belongs to Satan. And every time it's a currency, it's a debt note, and it put us in debt. And what does the Bible say about debt? Never be a debtor be. So they immediately put us into satanic rule. And this is all everybody runs by. You cannot serve two masters, you know, and that's what the whole thing is trying to do right now. So we're trying to negate ab initio. We are creating a whole new world where we do not follow satanic, and you don't need these laws. And there was somebody in Australia, and I'm so proud of her. She stood up there, they took her to court, and she said, I do not consent. That's all she said. I do not consent. I do not consent. I do not consent. And they tried every which way to change that around. Well, she said, I do not consent. When you get a speeding ticket, you can write right across it, I do not consent. And they can't do anything.
You're not in a contract with them.
Yes.
And that I saw that video. It was amazing because they kept twisting everything around. Okay, trying to get her to have agreements with them. And yeah. So
And that's why we have that running joke about duct tape, which you've heard all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Saint Germain, though, it's great.
If people would shut their mouth, they would have made their ascension years ago. Because even when you're standing in court and they're trying to get you to say something, you feel an obligation to tell them your story. You tell it to your neighbors. Well, how did you get that car? Well, you see, Put duct tape across your mouth. You cannot master your own dominion if you keep giving your power away to everybody who asks you. It's so important to learn dominion. And we already started it, but then my website for the third time was taken down. I had to do it all over again. We keep getting shut down. So, but that's a good thing, right? As all my members tell me, that means we're on target.
Yeah, that means that you're a threat somehow.
So they took us down again, but we are putting together a whole thing on how that you can get out of governmental obligation. And they're really tricking everybody. Oh, you know, there's Anna Van Wright out there. There's Dave Straight. There's all these people. And some of them have good intentions, but they're trying to get you out of the system through the system.
That's always been my question. And also the fact that, you know, this is done to you when you're born. Reality of any type of understanding or conception of that, you know, how many years, I mean, a 2-year-old's not going to have that understanding or be able to communicate it. So, you know, you're actually entrapped for a very long time, held speechless. And that's why, you know, the mouth being covered, you know, injustice is like you don't have that understanding, comprehension, information, or the ability to do anything about it from baby to 18, 19.
Well, it's because they dumb down our parent. I mean, what parent would want to give up their kid? No, but they do. And I laugh because people don't even understand it and negate, comprehend. You never want to understand anybody. And that's what they do. And when you go to court and they say, all rise, you don't rise. You lean back. You never cross the bar. That bar is right there. It's called the bar. That is a foreign entity on the other side. It's a court on land, and it's an international court, and you never cross it, and you don't stand up. But the thing is, it's the gangster banksters that are running everything. They are pulling the strings for everything. And if you don't believe that, go down some rabbit holes. I have gone down rabbit holes. I'm still trying to crawl back up out of. But, and I'll tell people this too. When you put your money in a bank account, you don't own it. Look at your checkbook. I cut all my information out, but this is my checks. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. I'll put it really close. See that where it says MP? That's the signature line. Okay. This is where you sign. I challenge all of you to go get a magnifying glass. Ooh, that's pretty dirty. And look at that line. MP stands for microprint. The line says authorized signature. You do not own that bank account. You only have rights to sign. So like if you're married and it's your bank account and you put your husband or your wife on as an authorized signature, but they can't have the final say on it. The bank owns your money. The bank owns everything. They own everything in the land. And they're the ones running the system. They're the ones enslaving you because they use money as a tool.
You know, my husband and I have traveled around the world on a very shoestring budget to sit with elders and places we're guided to go. And I remember sitting in the middle of the desert with a frying pan and a borrowed tent in the story in the outback where we were doing their work. And I remember crying, saying, why aren't we given what we are needed? What's needed for us? We need some money. And I remember Archangel Michael, as clear as day. It was like he was just standing right in front of me and he said, give us all your money. And, since then, I've discovered a lot more. And what you say just brought that message back into my head. Give us all your money. In other words, let go of the contract that you're in.
And right these now, are just that. These little things are contract. And when I was a little kid, on the back of the dollar bill, this is for the United States people. You're international, right?
I'm Canadian, yeah.
Okay. But that's international for me. In the back of this, and this is with everybody's currency, it says, in God we trust.
Yeah.
But God is capital G, capital O, capital D.
Corporate.
If you look at your driver's license, they're all capitalized because you've been capitalized. Your birth certificate, everything is capitalized. Your name, when you go to court, this one versus this one, it's in caps. It's not upper and lower case. Upper and lower case is the natural born. This is the corporation. So when I was a little kid, I used to go, Dad, why does it say in God we trust and got all this evil crap on the back? So one day I'm reading this because Gabriel told me to read this. So I'm sitting there in the summer. My friend Wayne calls on the phone. I go run and pick it up. I didn't want to lose my place. So I had one of these laying on the table and I just stuck it in there. I closed the book, right? And then when I came back, this side was sticking up. I said, yo, Gabriel, now that I got your attention, why? And his answer was, go to the Old Testament and read the 10 Commandments. And long story short, this went on for 2 weeks. And then I got it. He goes, focus. And he was getting frustrated with me. He's like, focus on the first one. And the first one is, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. And I went, which God is on the back of this dollar bill? And when they say God won, which God are they talking about? Because the people that I know who are one with the divine creator, those people are struggling right now. We will always win because we're divine, but at this moment, past tense, we haven't. So be careful what you watch out there, guys. That's why they call it spelling. That's why they call it a craft. It is not of the divine. The divine is simple. There's no ceremony. There's nothing at all in there except gentle and ease, grace and ease, and anything easy. So when you start looking at these things and you hear what they're saying, try to break the words down, because like I call this Bible basic instructions before leaving Earth, because that's all it is.
Nice.
And if you go into here, don't read the words. Ask to see the truth in it, the divine truth when you read it. And oh my gosh, it changes. It completely changes. It is a technical manual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an EE, an ME, and a scientist, and I've been writing technical manuals forever. And this is a technical manual. I was shocked to discover that. And all these years I wasted by not looking in there. The codes are in there.
Awesome. Jacob, I'm not even sure how much time we got left on the show, love. Holy cow.
Goes fast.
Thanks, Jacob. There you go. We're in sync. I love it. All right. Excuse me. Wow. I get caught off guard with this show because it's timeless. Leana, we've given a lot of information on how we've been duped and how we need to get out of things. Why don't I give you the last few minutes of the show to share whatever you want, how you want, and allow people to know the grace of Dominion, the beauty of who they truly are and why they're here right now. And as pillars of light, holding that light so that we can be a planet of light instead of a planet of darkness. Anywhere along those lines, and I'm filling in the gaps, and I'm going to just be quiet now. And I need to have you back. I would like to automatically invite you back anytime soon that you got, and we'll go into a little bit more depth. So I'm going to say thank you to you.
I would always honor that.
Listeners.
Guys, all I can say is, and close your eyes and go to your heart. This is a war for your soul, and it is a war. It's a war between light and dark. And the time is now. We can't mess around anymore. It is imperative. We're like on the fence. Either we choose light or we choose darkness. And we're this planet, and don't expect someone to save you. This is not all about the presidents and all this other stuff, because we're a free will. And under the divine creator, you have to choose. But remember, you are the divine creator. And once you step into that, family will bring up your knee-jerk reactions, but you can make them go away like that. Once you comprehend the violet flame and how to transmute everything, you will be fine. But the peace that comes over you, and nothing can touch you, nothing. My world has changed. They keep trying to take my website down. It's a joke. It keeps coming back up, and how am I doing it? The divine brings me what has to be done to get it done. But, what if I'm wrong? Big deal. You became a better person. But what if I'm right? And you're stuck here for another 26,000 years on a planet where darkness will rule like you wouldn't believe. Do you want to take that chance? What's the worst that can happen? You become more Jesus-like? I mean, is this a bad thing? No. So, but you can, because remember, darkness cannot exist where there is light. So take this opportunity, go inside, everything you need, nothing external. You don't need med beds. You don't need anything external. You step in your Christ consciousness, your world changes and you become who you are. And it's not a line. It's not a mind game, because the mind, the P, is a 3D thing. You're going into the higher dimensions, and you all can feel it. You can feel the quickening. Time is running out. People say that all the time. There's no time left today, because it's speeding up. And when it gets to 0 point, the shift happens. When that is, nobody knows. So I just send so much love and ask you, please start looking for your light within. It's the most important thing you'll ever do for you and your family.
Thank you, Leana. Go to Power, Passion, Freedom.com.
If you go to powerpassionfreedom.com, you go on, you just put your email down. We'll send you an email when we start the whole thing on how to get out of this mess.
Perfect. I'll be signing up. Also, you do some beautiful, beautiful meditations on Sundays that people can go and be a part of. And you also have some different options if people want to sign up for courses and stuff. So powerpassionfreedom.com. And Leana, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. You're such a beautiful light, Patricia.
Thank you.
Jacob, it was a pleasure.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on SOULutions for the whole being.